Good morning. The day is finally here. We're going to make our corned beef and cabbage. I'm so excited. Okay, I have everything prepared. I have cabbage. I have 2 pounds of baby carrots. I use these because they're already peeled. I just wash them. And then I have 2 pounds of potatoes. Red potatoes, gold potatoes, and black potatoes. These are gemstone potatoes. So it adds a lot of color to your dish. And I have approximately 2 pounds of those. I bought two 1.5 pound bags and I put a few separate. My hair tied back because I worked many years in restaurants and I don't like to have my hair down when I'm cooking. So hopefully I just cut my bangs. They'll stay back too, but I don't know if they will. All right. Now, the other thing, the most important thing, is the brisket. I'm going to lay it on the board in a minute, but first I want to cut the cabbage. And I want to show you, I'm going to tilt this down so you can see me cutting the cabbage. I took the outer leaves off. There were some. Now you can use those outer leaves. They're a little tougher and take actually a little longer to cook, but you can use them. I didn't in the purpose of this recipe. I'm going to flatten the bottom just so when I quarter this, or I'm actually going to more than quarter it, I think, to fit in the pot nice, I can, it won't wobble since it's round. And then I'm going to cut down the middle through the core, just like that in half. Perfect. Then I'm going to lay the flat side down so I don't have an issue with it wobbling. And I'm going to cut it in half again. Now, here's the core. You can leave that if you like. It isn't really a part you're going to eat, but it does tend to hold the cabbage together. So if you want to leave it, go ahead. But I'm going to cut it out. And you just go, you can see it very clearly. Just go along the lines and cut that out. Or leave it if you choose to do so. Now, I'm going to do my other one. Half. And then I'm going to cut that core out. And cut the core out. I think it tends to be a little bitter. It's hard, and it's really not. Now these are big, so I'm going to cut them again. And I am going to put these in, let me turn this a little bit, in the pot, put them around the outside of the pot. Like that. Now, I want to show you the brisket because the brisket is a tough piece of meat and they put it in a brine with salt for 10 days and refrigerate it. And it's usually the chest of the cow. And this has a nice piece of fat almost all the way across the top. And it also is marbled with quite a bit of fat. And that is going to shrink down the corned beef, but it's also going to add a lot of flavor to this meat. Now, my seasoning packet was in here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the juice that I'm going to make in here to cover the brisket because I want to get all those juice. My corned beef came, I didn't need to rinse the brine off. Um, Sometimes you do. Sometimes you, and you'll be able to tell. If it's really, sometimes it seems really kind of nasty to me and I rinse it. This one wasn't like that. And the seasonings weren't in a packet. And I've always gotten them in a packet. They weren't. They were, so I couldn't rinse it. I'd lose the seasoning. 2 cups, actually 3 cups of hot water. And I put just 2 bouillon cubes, beef bouillon cubes in here. And I am also going to add 1 tablespoon of country style mustard. And so I have and this is country style Dijon mustard and my beef broth and my water. And I'm going to dump that in the bowl I had brisket in a minute ago, and I'm going to mix it up only because there's a lot of seasoning and good stuff in there. I am going to add 1 bay leaf to that. Mix it up, and I'm going to pour that in. I want to try to get as much juices out and seasonings that I can. There. Okay. Now I'm going to put in a 1/4 cup of balsamic vinegar, and this is my balsamic vinegar of choice. And I'm just going to pour that in on top. Then I'm going to take the brisket and I'm going to set it on top of the cabbage best I can. It's a little big, but remember, this is going to shrink down. And this is a little less. This is 3.64 pounds of corned beef, and I like around a 4-pound roast. So this is a little smaller, but it fits in here nicely, and it's going to, like I said, shrink down. So we have that, and I actually can see some peppercorn on here. I'm going to get in all that good stuff that was on the bottom of the. Okay. Now is I am going to. Where's my bay leaf? Well, we'll put 2 bay leaves in. I'm going to do a little coarse um, coarse pepper on top. That's just going to help season it. I don't put salt because corned beef's pretty salty. Now for the liquid, you can use water. A lot of people use beer. Um, we're going to do it this way. Now, I'm going to put my pressure cooker lid on. Snaps right in place. You just have to find the right little groove to get it. It turns very easily. So don't force it. And we're going to put that on pressure cook. and we want to have it on high temp, high, and we're going to do this for about 7 minutes. Start. Now it's going to take a little time to get up to pressure. It may take 8 to 10 minutes to get up to pressure. Once it gets up to pressure, whoop, you got to turn the little valve and lock it, or you'll never get up to pressure. So there, I turn the valve to lock or seal. This little button will pop up. It will take probably 8 to 10 minutes to get up to pressure because it's cool right now, and it won't start my 7 minutes until it does. Once this pops up, it's pressurized. My clock will start down 7 minutes. So I'll see you back here when that's done. All right, I'm back. We're down to the last minute of the corned beef, the original step, the first step with the cabbage and the corned beef and the juices. I'm going to do a quick release. I'll do a slow release later, but right now I'm going to do a quick release. I'm going to actually get the cabbage out, and then we'll continue cooking the corned beef. A lot of steps of taking things in and out only because the time element on how each thing has to cook. It's not really a big deal. The corned beef is going to be cooking pretty much the whole time, but the vegetables don't need to cook as long as the corned beef. So we're down to 15 seconds. And our first step will be done. Now when you do the quick release, you just turn the valve. Let me get this down just a bit, maybe you can see better. You turn the valve. And the button will go down. When the button goes down, I'll be able to take the lid off. I'm going to take this off. I wasn't looking at the... And make sure you put the lid a little bit away from you. Are we? Oh yeah, we are. Okay. Smells wonderful. Now I'm going to put the cabbage in a bowl, and I'm just going to set it aside. We're not going to do anything else with the cabbage right now. Just want to get it out. Now you can determine how long to cook. The mushier you like your cabbage, the longer you're going to want to keep it in. And I don't want to take the bay leaf out. I do want to take, there'll be a few remnants of cabbage in there, that's fine. And I'm going to put that bay leaf back here. Okay, then I'm going to put these, just set them aside. Now, I'm going to put the rack in, and this is the rack. You have the high end and the low. I'm going to put it on low, so it's only going to rest a few, like maybe an inch or so above the water. And I'm going to put the corned beef back in and work it in there because it's, it's going to shrink even more, but right now. I don't know. I'm kind of glad I got this one. 4 pound might have been just a little bit too big. It's on the rack. We're gonna cook just the corned beef. What? Sorry. Pressure cooker lid back on, and we are gonna seal it. Move the valve over to seal it. This will pop up when it's ready. It shouldn't take as long this time because pressure on high. Put the pressure button on high, and we are going to do it this time for 45 minutes. Now it'll get up to pressure a lot quicker. We're going to do it for 45 minutes, and then we are going to do a slow release for 10 minutes. And then we'll take it out and do the next step. Okay? So I'll be back in about 45 minutes. See you then. All right, so it's just about done with the slow release. And then we did a quick release. That took about another 2.5 minutes. It should be almost finished, and we can get the brisket out. Cook our potatoes and carrots. Okay, the button went down. Safe to remove the lid. Just turn, lift away from you, because there is going to be some steam. And then place it aside. Oh, the brisket is looking good. I'm going to take my tongs. A little bit. It's easy for me to get to it. I like to stick. I could have just taken this out. Not need that anymore. Now what we're going to do is we're going to place all of those carrots. Now this is pretty hot, so don't splash yourself. You want to dump all your carrots in the water. And I move them around a little bit. On top of that. Oh, that's good. And then I'm going to put the brisket right back on top. And we are going to cook this under pressure. There. Now it's been under pressure, so sometimes. Then we are going to turn the valve to seal. We're going to, I'm going to hit pressure, high, and I'm going to cook for 2 minutes. Do a natural release for 10 minutes on its own, so it'll count down for 10 minutes, and then we'll do the quick release, and we'll get the brisket and the potatoes out and do the next step. I can hardly wait. So I'll see you back in about 10 minutes. We cooked the 2 minutes, and now we are doing a natural release, which is just counting up for 10 minutes. So you don't do anything. When it counts the 2 minutes, it'll start counting up. And it'll have a keep warm light on, basically. But that pressure is still in there, that hot steam. We're going to take the corned beef out, and I'm going to remove the potatoes and carrots. Then I am going to put the I'm going to put the in the air fryer now. I am going to put the cabbage and the corned beef back in. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a balsamic glaze that's going to go on that. Now this recipe for the balsamic glaze I got from the salted pepper. She has a lot of recipes on there. This is so good that you're going to want to try it this way, I think. But anyway, let me make that. And what I have is 1 tablespoon of the country Dijon that I had put in the let me see what I'm doing. And I'm going to put it all in this bowl. So I have 1 tablespoon of the country Dijon. Now, this is the same thing I put in broth. And you can put mustard seed, but I didn't have any, so I thought, well, I'll put that. And then I have a 1/4 cup of dark brown sugar. I've got a little dry sitting up. I measured all this out ahead of time. And another 1/4 cup of the balsamic. And this is secret sauce. That brown sugar, everything mixed up. We're gonna put that on. You're gonna die. It's so good. All right. When I take the potatoes out, I'm gonna put the broth in with them, and that'll keep them hot. A few more minutes, which gives you time to subscribe, like, and leave me a comment. I love hearing from you. And give me some ideas on recipes. I am going to make later in the week some wings and even French fries are really good in here. I mean, I know that's a simple thing, but the nice thing is you don't use as much oil, so it's healthier too. And there's a lot of great recipes. I make my own nuggets. They're plump, they're juicy, they're chicken breast. You don't have to use chicken breast, but I use chicken breast and I bread them. And hope everyone's going to have a lucky, happy St. Patrick's Day. Hope everyone's having a wonderful day today. Wanted to get this video on so you could try this before St. Patrick's Day. And now, if you don't have a Ninja Foodi, you can cook this in the oven. You can cook it. I normally cook it in a slow cooker. You cook it in a slow cooker or in a pot on the stove, Dutch oven. And then you can put this glaze on at the end and bake it a little bit just to get that crispy and that crunchy glaze on top. But you know, this Ninja Foodi does it all. And it takes up small space. It's beautiful to look at. Um, they have them in colors now. Now, this is warm, but it won't burn me, you know. You want to have it away from the counter. You want to have it to where you have air circulation around it, which this is a great spot. If I had it behind, under the counter, I don't think get as much airflow, but here I have a bar, so it gives it a lot of airflow. All right, we're right at about 9 minutes, so I'm going to release the pressure, and once the button goes down, I can open the lid. So here we go. Ready? Okay, the button went down. So now we can take the lid off, turn it, open it away from you. It is sizzling up. Now I'm going to take the brisket out. It has shrunk up, but really not bad. There's a lot of fat, so the shrinkage is, and the potato, I'm just going to scoop out and put them in this bowl. And I will put all this yummy juice in, and that'll keep these potatoes and carrots hot while we do the next step. Smells wonderful. They have cooked up. They're tender. They're not mushy. Most of it out. I think the rest of it. Pour. Put my mitts on. Out, the pot out. It's telling me pot because it knows I've taken the pot out. And turn this off. Now I can take these carrots and potatoes and set them aside. This water is going to keep them hot while I do the next step. And the next step is on the crisper. So we're done with the pressure cooking. And now I'm going to take the cabbage and I am going to put it in this basket. And I'm just going to put it around the edges first. And a little bit of juice. Air crisp. Then I'm going to take, and I'll show you in the basket there. Just put it all around the edges. And then I'm going to lay the brisket right on top, starting to even fall. I'm going to squish it in there a little because it. Put back in the crisper. Wait a minute. Okay, so we put the cabbage in around in the air basket. We put the pot back in. The pot's always in there when you're cooking. And then I put the corned beef back on top of the cabbage. Then we're going to take our mixture we made that I got from the salted pepper. And actually these times on my cooking, some of my ingredients are different, but the thyme element I'm using is the same on her recipe. And then I am going to, let me tip this down a little so you can see. I am going to pour this on top of the brisket. And I'm going to let it drizzle onto the cabbage as well. And I will get it all out. We are going to put the air crisper lid now, not the pressure cooker, down. And I'm going to air crisp, and I just have to hit the air crisp button, and I am going to put it on 400. It hits mine's 390, it must be an automatic setting, and I'm going to do it for 20 minutes. Now that'll start counting down right away. No pressure has to be built up like on the air fryer. I mean on the pressure cooker. So the air frying time starts right away. 20 minutes. I will check it every once in a while. We don't want it to burn, but it should be right around 20 minutes, and it'll crisp, and that balsamic vinegar will um, caramelize. And I'll see you in about 20 minutes. Okay. Um, it's been actually about 14, 15 minutes, and I'm going to take it out because it looks pretty well done to me. Um, turn it just a little bit, just so it's a little bit easier for me to get to. Oh, it's sizzling. Can you hear it? Sizzling. That. Now that is not burnt on there. That is the brown sugar. Now we have the brisket. We want to let it rest for about 15 minutes, and that gives us. Get them in here, and let's get them crisping too. So now I'd have to do these in more than one batch, but I think we can get most of them in there. The potatoes get a really nice crisp to them. And all right, we do have a few left. That's okay. If we want while we're eating, or if you're going to, okay, so that basket's pretty full. You can see it. Now we're going to put the lid down, and we're going to air crisp, hit the air crisp button. I'm going to bump it up to 400 degrees, and I am going to cook these for 15 minutes. So my automatic says it's 20. I'm going to put 15. Carrot fell out. All the flavors are immersed in that carrot. Now what I compare this to, that sweet from the balsamic, and that tangy, and that little spicy from the mustard, I compare this a lot to a how you have a honey glazed ham. Put that crunch on top, but you get that flavor. That's sweet. Really good. All right. All right. We're in the final stages of our vegetables crisping. And I wanted to explain the cutting of the meat. You always want to cut meat against the grain. So it looks like, sometimes it's hard to tell on the top because of it being looks to me like the grain is going this way. So I'm going to cut the meat this way. And this is what's so nice about the flat one. Is you get nice slices for sandwiches. I'm going to cut like this. I want to show you. Look at that. Perfectly, perfectly cut. platter. A little bit of fat along the top. That's adding to the flavor. Look at that. Delicious. Alright. So, I am going to okay, we're going to let them go a little bit longer. And I have a platter here that I use. And I am going to start cutting the meat and putting it on the platter. And then I will show you the end result. And we will try it. I will try it. You're going to have to cook it to try it. People are going to fight over that end piece, I can tell you that, because it's got the outside crisp. Just slice it up. Might still be a little hot. Around the edges. Now, just saying, when you have left, oh, this is nice crunchy part right there. You have leftover corned beef. You can make corned beef sandwiches. Let's see. Okay, so you have leftover corned beef. You can make corned beef sandwiches or Reuben sandwiches. You can make corned beef hash, which I might attempt to do. I'm not sure this time around. I'm going to get all these out of here and I'm going to show you. This is beautiful. This is just absolutely beautiful dish. Beautiful Irish meal. Red potatoes, gold potatoes, the green from the cabbage, carrots. Just absolutely beautiful. And everything is so tender. It has that balsamic. It's going to have that balsamic flavor on it. Sure, sure. Just beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. A absolutely, to me, this is a beautiful platter. I would love to. There it is. Now I could cut more corned beef on top. I have another piece here. But that crust, this one here, that's the, now that's not burnt, that's just yummy, caramelized, sweet, a little spicy. Mm, all right. Dinner served. If you have any questions, let me know. If you have any comments, let me know. Carrot and some corned beef together. Mm, mm. Okay, so dinner is served. Got everything put away, and I have my plate, and I have a little bit of the country style grape poupon, which we put in the dish. And I'm going to put just a little bit of that on the side of my plate for dipping. I took some of the drippings from the bottom of the pan in the Ninja Foodi, and I drizzled it over my corned beef. And I want you to look at this delicious plate of corned beef and cabbage. I have my corned beef and cabbage. I have a black or a blue potato, a gold potato, a red potato, my carrots, and this nicely seared cabbage, and this crunch. And this crunchy, nice, crispy, glazed. Mm, mm, wonderful, wonderful. Well, I hope everyone has. Mm, I hope everyone has a wonderful, happy, lucky St. Patrick's Day. Be safe. Like, subscribe, and I'll see you again soon. Bye bye.